This is Lauren with Verivest, and today we are meeting with Brockton Vandenberg from TaliMar Financial. Welcome. We're really excited to meet with you.
Lauren, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd love to hear a little bit about how you ended up where you are today and give us a little of your origin story.
Yeah, sure thing. So I've been in the private money space for the last 12 years, started in about 2008. I've been in real estate generally for the last 20 years. Started as a analyst for a large real estate private equity firm. Had the opportunity to go off on my own just as the housing market started to slow, and created a platform for real estate investors in the Southern California market to borrow money to purchase properties at the courthouse steps for foreclosures. And then since then, we've been able to grow this platform to service most of California for fix and flip loans, bridge loans, and other types of hard money loans.
Yeah, absolutely. And share with us how you source deal flow. What's your acquisition strategy that you really put forth?
So we primarily focus in the Southern California market, and we attend a lot of the real estate investor events, provide a lot of education material to real estate investors, as well as mortgage brokers and real estate agents about the private lending industry.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of this dark hole. People don't understand private lending. Obviously it's different than what you have in traditional banking. And so just educating, again, the real estate investor, the mortgage broker, and the agent about what we do and how we can be of a service to them really has kind of driven our voice amongst the real estate investor community. And in doing so, that's pretty much how we source most of the deal flow that we get.
Yeah, great. And obviously you've touched on that Southern California is your primary market, but can you explain a little bit why you operate in Southern California and kind of what the pockets within Southern California are that you operate in?
Yeah, Lauren, great question. So when I first established the business, I had a number of mentors. One of the common themes when you're in the private lending industry is to, number one, understand your market. Number two, understand your borrower. And so, our focus really has been to expand our footprint in Southern California because it's our backyard. It's a market that we understand. It's a market that we can virtually drive to, take a look at the properties that we're lending on, and then really understand our borrower, sitting down with the borrower, understanding why they're borrowing the funds they are, what their exit strategy for the loan is, and then understanding how they're going to be making the payments. That just ensures that it's a win-win solution both for the borrower and for us to ensure that we have a good, strong loan portfolio.
And are you specifically in Los Angeles, or kind of what other areas in Southern California do you say you work in the most?
Yeah, so if you were to look at our loan portfolio now, the majority of loans that we have are actually in the San Diego County market. And then if you were to look at just general scope, it would be San Diego County, and then you spread out primarily Southern California with a couple of loans up in the Northern California market.
Okay, great. And so what is your investment philosophy? How do you determine whether a deal is worth doing?
Yeah, so again, in the private lending space, it's really important that you understand the loan and the borrower. Every loan, every borrower is very different in the hard money lending space. So you want to understand the real estate, understand, are you comfortable with the asset that you're lending against? Are you comfortable with the borrower? Has he been able to show the capability of being able to make payments on time? And then does he have a clear exit strategy for that loan? And that's one of the things I think a lot of people forget is you've got a short-term loan, typically 12 months to maybe 36 months for that borrower to repay that loan. That borrower may come to you because they need to close quickly on a transaction. Maybe they have an existing loan that they're looking to refinance and maybe take it cash out. But for whatever the reason, you have to understand why that borrower is taking that loan, and then understand how that loan is going to be repaid. And so, that's our kind of general focal point when we look at loans, when we sit down with the team and decide, is this a loan that we want to put into our portfolio, or is it not?
Right, right. And once you've kind of made that investment, how do you generate value? And what would you say is your risk mitigation strategy?
Yeah, so one of the loan types that we do a lot of is a fix and flip loan. The intention there is the borrower's purchasing the property with the intention of rehabbing it and then selling it. The value add that we offer our client base there is, number one, we can close quickly, especially in today's market where there is a lot of lack of supply of housing, available housing, and there's a lot of people going after these projects. You have to be able to provide your borrower the ability to close quickly, and that's what we do on our fix and flip loans. And then in terms of our bridge loans, again, in the hard money lending space, every loan is different. So you're finding yourself having to kind of structure your loan around the demands of the loan request. And that's what we can do for our borrowers. And that's why I think we're a value add, especially to one of our biggest providers of leads is going to be the mortgage broker community. And they're going to come to a company like ours because they know that they've got a deal that they probably can't go conventional with. And so they're going to go to the hard money lending space. And they want to feel confident that the person they're bringing to can structure the best loan for their client. But number two, going to be able to close and execute on the loan.
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, I'd just like to hear who your key players are that are involved that allow you to execute your acquisition and asset management strategy.
Yeah, so we've had a staff, and my staff's been with me for a little over 7 years. Started as a 2-person team and have slowly grown that team, not only on a local basis, but we also have teams scattered across the United States as well that assist us in both underwriting and then do the acquisition. But then what's, again, a key component to the hard money lending space is the servicing of those loans. Again, it's one of those components I think people forget about. Closing on the loan is just half the battle. It's to ensure that those payments are coming in on time, that that we're following the requirements of that loan, and that if we anticipate or foresee any issues with the loan, that we take a proactive approach of ensuring that any issue that could come up, that we're mitigating that risk.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have a really strong team behind you. It's always always leads to quite the success. So thank you so much for speaking with us today and telling us more about TaliMar. It was phenomenal to hear more about it. So we look forward to working together.
Well, Lauren, I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one.